In the annals of history, there are moments that define the strength of human will, the quest for justice, and the power of change. Embark on a journey back in time to explore the remarkable story of Britain's women's suffrage movement, a struggle that reshaped the course of history and the lives of countless women. Our story begins in the late 19th century, a time when women in the United Kingdom were denied one of their most fundamental rights, the right to vote. The movement for women's suffrage was divided into two main camps, the peaceful suffragists and the more militant suffragettes. Introducing Millicent Fawcett, a pioneering suffragist and an unyielding advocate for women's rights. Born in 1847, she was an influential figure even from her early life. At the tender age of 19, she attended a speech by John Stuart Mill, an event that served as a catalyst, igniting her passion for women's suffrage. Fawcett firmly believed in the power of non-violent methods, and this belief led her to lay the foundation of the National Union of Women's Suffrage Societies. Her lifelong mission was to attain social reform, not through destructive means, but through patient and peaceful persuasion. Her relentless advocacy and resilience culminated in one of her greatest achievements, the passing of the Representation of the People Act in 1918, which granted voting rights to women over the age of 30. Fawcett's legacy is etched in history not just as a staunch suffragist, but also as a beacon of hope and change. Emmeline Pankhurst, a powerful force behind the suffragette movement, took a more radical approach in advocating for women's rights. Born into a family with a long history of political activism, Pankhurst became disillusioned with the slow pace of progress for women's suffrage. Fueled by this urgency, along with her daughter Christabel Pankhurst, they formed the Women's Social and Political Union, otherwise known as the WSPU. The WSPU was not just another women's rights organization. It was a radical organization that sought to shake the foundations of the male-dominated society. Its motto, "Deeds not words," reflected Emmeline's belief that actions spoke louder than speeches. Tired of the authorities' inaction, she believed that only a more militant stand would make the government take notice. Her radical approach, including hunger strikes, arson, and public demonstrations, brought both criticism and admiration. Critics called them violent, but her supporters recognized them as necessary measures that brought attention and urgency to their cause. These dramatic actions made the suffrage movement impossible to ignore. Emmeline Pankhurst's relentless pursuit for equality not only helped secure the vote for women in the United Kingdom, but also inspired women across the world to demand their rights. Her influence is undeniable. Her radicalism was precisely what the suffragette movement needed to shake up the status quo and accelerate progress. Rosa May Billinghurst stands as a remarkable figure in the history of civil rights. Known as the cripple suffragette, Billinghurst was not just defined by her physical challenges, but used them to amplify her cause. Paralyzed from the waist down since childhood, she navigated the world in an adapted tricycle wheelchair. But her mobility devices didn't hold her back. Instead, they became her weapon of protest. She would storm into political rallies with her tricycle, creating disruptions to draw attention to women's suffrage. Her dedication and fearlessness, despite her physical condition, made her a powerful symbol of the suffragette spirit. Her tenacity showed the world that physical limitations could not inhibit the pursuit of justice and equality. Next, we delve into the life of Emily Davison, a woman whose name is indelibly etched in history due to her ultimate sacrifice. Born in 1872, Davison was a bright, educated woman who dedicated herself to the suffragette cause. She became an integral part of the Women's Social and Political Union, defying societal norms to fight for female emancipation. In the year 1913, Davison performed what is remembered as a profound act of protest. This tragic event occurred at the Epsom Derby, a high-profile horse race attended by many thousands of people, including King George V himself. Undeterred by the VIP presence, Davison stepped onto the racecourse, directly in the path of the King's horse. This daring move was not a spur-of-the-moment decision, but rather an audacious attempt to draw the nation's attention towards the suffragette cause. Her bold act, seen as an ultimate sacrifice, cemented her place in the annals of history and gave the suffragette movement the visibility it required at the time. As the suffragette movement gained momentum, so did their methods of protest. They took to the streets, facing violence and arrest. Some even resorted to drastic acts of defiance, including planting bombs and smashing windows. World War I served as a turning point in the struggle for suffrage. With men at the front, women stepped up to fill vital roles in the workforce, fueling the argument for their voting rights. Finally, in 1918, after years of relentless struggle, the Representation of the People Act was passed, granting voting rights to some women. The battle for suffrage had won a significant victory. The story of the UK women's suffrage movement is a testament to the power of unity, determination, and unwavering belief in the pursuit of justice. It is a story that still echoes in our present, inspiring generations of women to continue the fight for equality. If you found this journey through history inspiring, please like and comment below to support our channel. Subscribe for more stories of courage, change, and the remarkable women who shaped our world.